This is Andy Pereira for ID Boxing. I'm joined by Jose Benavidez Sr. here in Liverpool. Jose, firstly, how are you? How is life treating you? How was the journey over?
Man, I got here today. Super excited to be here in London, Liverpool, and I'm excited for this fight. Diego Pacheco was supposed to be the co-main event. Now he's the main event. We've been working hard. He's been sparring with David Benavidez, Daniel Blancas, and some other guys there too. So he's been doing really well, and I think he can't just win this fight Saturday. He has to look spectacular in order to go to the bigger names.
Walk me through what you first saw in Diego Pacheco when he walked into your gym for the first time.
Actually, we used him for a couple of sparrings for David on his past fights, and I always seen that he did have a lot of talent. That's why we keep calling him back. And the reason we started working together is because him and his trainer part ways, different ways, and after a month that he didn't have a trainer, he called me and he said if I wanted to help him, and I told him no because he was working with his trainer. And he said no, I haven't been with him for like about a month, so that's different, But if he was training with his trainer, I would never do that, and that's how we started working together. And I see that he has a lot of talent. Definitely, no doubt, he's going to be a world champion. He just has to stay focused and keep working hard.
There's always been an incredible amount of excitement around Diego when he stepped between the ropes, Jose, and he's always looked to deliver for the fans. He's always looked to be entertaining. What in particular impresses you the most about his skill set?
Well, when I saw him, he had a lot of amateur fights. He was, I think, representing the United States also. He's very smart, very fast, but I think that what we've been working on him is going to the body a little bit more. And stepping in and sitting on the punches a little bit more. He already has that pedigree of a fighter, of a boxer, but now we're trying to make more damage with those punches. We're sitting on the punches. We're working a lot on the jab also to have the stiff jab, and I think you guys seen it on a couple of fights that he had already. A little bit more power, a little bit more sitting on his punches.
It must speak volumes that you've got David getting ready for the biggest fight of his career come March 25th. It must speak volumes that with that only being a few weeks away, you're willing to come over here to Liverpool to obviously be in the corner for Diego. It must speak volumes about how much potential and talent you see in him, because you see he's worth that effort. He's worth leaving behind David just for these few days so that you can come and focus on Diego.
Yeah, like you said, yeah, I see a lot of potential. I see that he could definitely be a world champion, and I've been working with him a lot, and I think thank God, everything's going well with David's camp. I talked to David before I came, and he's doing very well. He's very ahead of his schedule. He's very sharp, and I was supposed to be here a day after. I got here today, and the reason I'm here is because everything's going well over there, and that's why I have a big team. It's not just me. I have my other trainers, Javi Flores, Poncho Ramirez, Britos, and Shea Green. And Junior Lopez. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I know he's taken care of, and we're not losing anything or I mean, we're on point. So that's why we're here a little bit early.
With Diego and Jack Cullen on Saturday night, how much of Jack have you seen? Certainly in the UK, we know he's a very tough man. He'll take a lot to stop him. He'll want to go out on his shield if he ever reached that point in a fight, and he will look to come forward. He'll look to put pressure on Diego Pacheco. What do you see in him that you feel you can exploit there?
I think it's a great fight for both of them. He is a good fighter. He comes forward. He throws punches. He had a good pedigree of boxing. Also, he has very good skills. It's a dangerous fight. It's not an easy fight, but whoever wins this fight is going to go to the next level. I seen his fights, and he beat Gil the Ring. He fought Canelo Alvarez, He's fought some, I think I would say that he fought better opposition that Diego has faced. So I think it's a dangerous fight. We're not underestimating him, He's tall, rangy, good jab, good skills. But we have to prove that Diego is the best at 168 at this point.
How did you go about defeating Jack Cullen tomorrow night on Saturday night?
Yeah, well, it's like I said, we have a plan that we've been working on. It all depends how he comes. Everybody fights differently. with different fighter styles make fights. So we have a plan, but we have to adjust. We have to go see how the first round goes, and after that, we have to adjust on everything that he brings. It's going to be a difficult fight. It's a fight that I like for Diego Pacheco in order to go to the bigger fights. If we were thinking about fighting Berlanga, we should go through him and look spectacular. We can't just win the fight. We have to look spectacular.
So he comes through unscathed, and you've just mentioned Edgar Berlanga there. Do you feel that's a fight which could be in the near future?
They're in the same promotion company, why not? That would make a super good fight. A Puerto Rican against a Mexican, even if we make that fight right now, it'll be a big fight. People will be interested and would love to see this fight. But I think we just got to wait a little bit. Berlanga, just signed with DAZN Matchroom, and he has to show a little, maybe like about 2-3 fights, and also that gives us an opportunity to see where we at, and definitely that fight can be made, no problem.
Outside of Edgar Berlanga, how do you see the remainder of this year playing out for Diego, provided Saturday night goes to plan?
Well, like I said, we're focused on that fight we have this Saturday. To be honest with you, that just talks. Hopefully in the future we can make that fight. But at the end of the day, he has to do good. We have to do good in order to make that fight happen.
I do also just want to get kind of the knowledge and some background onto the sparring that he shared with David, because we've only seen little clips of it on social media, but it seems like it's set at a ferocious pace.
Yeah, that's why we keep bringing him, because Pacheco's a young guy, that brings a lot of explosion, a lot of speed, and he's very smart. That's why he's training with us now, because David likes him like a brother, and he likes the way he fights and put the work in, so that's why he's part of Team Benavidez, because he's a hard worker, very talented, and David likes to spar with strong, good guys.
Let's obviously come on to David now. We know you're in the middle of a camp, only a few weeks out now. How is everything? You've just said that things are just slightly ahead of schedule, which is pleasing to hear.
Yeah, no, definitely. He's on weight. Everything's going well. Plan is perfect. Everything's going well. We got 2 weeks to go, so we're excited. We can't wait, to be across from KO Plant and his team. It's a great fight. He's a good fighter. He fought Canelo-Alvarez. He looked spectacular with Anthony Durrell, and the tickets are almost sold out, and the rooms in Las Vegas are sold out. All the hotels are packed, so we're super happy to see that.
There's obviously been a lot of back and forth between the camps in the build-up to this fight. It's got everybody talking, everybody excited, but it certainly seems to have crossed that line of becoming a personal fight between the two families now. For you in particular, why is this so personal? Why is this rivalry standing out?
Well, I think that KO Plant has always been jealous of David, of what he has accomplished. David's a 3-time world champion. He won at 20 years old his first world title. He got it again at 22, and now he's the world interim champion at 168. So he's a 3-time world champion, and he's only been 1 time a champion. When David wasn't even a professional, he already had like about 10 fights, 8 fights. So we're in the same company. I think he's seen that David was catching up, and he overpassed him, and that's why he's acting like that. He even bought his domain name, David Benavidez. I think, I don't think that's going to do any good at him, because they're trying to look for merch that it says David Benavidez. So they go to his page. He's not even selling anything, bro, because at the end of the day, he tried to use David's name in order to sell some merchandise. But at the end of the day, they see it's him, so they don't want to buy none of that.
I know you're laughing about it now. Was it just like in camp? Did you find it all funny?
I think it's just dumb, man. I'll tell you right now. I own his domain name. Sweet Hands Promotions. He's been trying to buy that for a couple of years now, and you're the first one that has this. I own his domain name, Sweet Hands Promotion, and at one time he offered $25,000 to buy it. And, I'm not interested. But do you think I will use his name in order to sell my merchandise? No way. Why would I do that? I think that's a dumb thing to do. So, if he's having fun with it, go ahead, but it doesn't bother us at all.
I do have to ask, I saw, I think it was a couple of days after that news came out that Caleb had purchased that domain name. He said that over Twitter. He sees that he received a cease and desist letter from your team and from David's lawyers because they weren't happy with it. Is that the case?
Well, if he's saying that, I own his Sweet Hands Promotion, Is he gonna sue me, for it? You know, uh, like I said, man, he could do whatever the heck he wants to do. At the end of the day, if that makes him happy, we don't even use that name. David Benavidez, we use El Bandera Roja, the Mexican Monster, Benavidez 300. We don't even care about that name, to be honest with you. But if that makes him happy, go right ahead.
There's one thing which I remember seeing around the time of a press conference when they launched press conference this for the fight, Jose, where Caleb did a few interviews suggesting you'd had a few words to say about his child, which is unfortunately no longer with us. Can you just elaborate to me now as to what you said and why you felt that was the route you wanted to go down?
What you said about? Can you repeat that again about people?
So Caleb did a couple of interviews suggesting that you'd had a few remarks said about his child, his daughter, which had passed away earlier on.
Okay, to be honest, this guy, like I said, he's talking out of his ass. I think that guy is crazy. He is going to be crazy after that fight on the March 25th. He's going to end up in the hospital. But this guy, man. I'll tell you, as a man, I have kids. I don't mess with families, man. And to me, that's something you gotta respect, and I respect it. And I'll tell you in front of the whole world right here, they made if you see the real story behind KO Plant, if you Google that, it's gonna take you to what I'm saying. His wife did a report, ex-wife did a report about him, that he's lying. He's using all these things. I will never touch family members. I will never play with something like that, man. And I'll tell you here, I will never do that. And I never did that. I did not do that report, and I'll show you actually the report about what I'm talking about, because at the end of the day, he's trying to blame me for it, but I don't think that's fair because I would never do anything like that.
Moving away from that topic, as I was sticking with the fight, I did an interview with David a few weeks ago over Zoom, and he's adamant, you just said yourself, he's going to end up in the hospital. David's adamant he's going to put Caleb in the hospital as well. He said he's going to hospitalise Caleb Plant. Walk me through how David beats Caleb Plant.
Man, to be honest with you, this guy's been talking a lot of shit, man. I would be super happy if David could just punish him through the whole rounds, man. And hopefully when he gets knocked out, he can get up again, and that's all we want to do, we're going to settle it in the ring. He's been talking a lot of shit, and this is the fight that we need. And nothing to take away from this guy. Like I said, he's a great fighter. He fought nothing but the best. Canelo Alvarez, he looked spectacular against Anthony Durrell. It's not an easy fight, but David, the skills that David possesses are on another level. And this is more personal. David has been super motivated with this fight, and we can't wait for March 25th to make it happen.
During Caleb's career, we've seen him be more of a boxer, certainly looked to him, and against Anthony Durrell, he scored what many people saw as one of the knockouts of the year. What approach do you expect him to take against your son? Do you expect him to be on the back foot, or do you expect it to be a firefight?
Well, of course, even his trainer is trying to give him a little bit of motivation. He's making him believe that he does have a lot of power. So I hope he listens to his trainer. So he can get knocked out, But we all know KO Plant is just going to try to box and move, and what he does, he does that very well. Why do something else, But I believe that, he was doing a great job when he had his other trainer, and he took him to a world title, and they were together for a long time. I think I would be a little bit more worried if that trainer was with him, because they did a great job together. But now, he's only been working with these guys for 2 fights, or 1 fight, something like that. So these guys have a different mentality. They have different ideas that at 30 years old, are you really going to learn more stuff?
He gets his hand raised on March 25th. You move forwards, the Canelo fight. I think I can't recall anybody who hasn't mentioned a potential Canelo and Benavidez fight. Up until this date, why do you feel that Canelo has opted against facing David?
You know what, to be honest with you, man, I would tell people to forget about the Canelo fight, That's not going to happen. If I had Canelo, if I was Eddie Reynoso, I would never let Canelo fight with the Mexican monster. Young, hungry. You guys got to understand that Canelo started fighting at 16 years old. He's done so much in boxing, super disciplined. And, it would be hard for somebody to do and capture what he's done, accomplish to this date, But you guys got to understand, too, that he fought a lot of wars, man. The body's not the same. He has a lot of miles, Plus, he's not focused in boxing 100% no more. He's doing golf. He has a lot of businesses. And now, this guy's been so disciplined that lately you've seen him drinking and partying a little bit, and that's where I'm saying, he's not the same guy no more, His mind wants to go, but his body, it's just too much miles, man. I think David will stop him, to be honest, in about 5-6 rounds. And people are going to say that I'm crazy. But like I said, we're going to be at that stage also when another lion, hungry lion, young, are going to come. And, at the end of the day, this is boxing. This is what happened with boxers. Your time comes and other generation comes in.
What do you think of the reported Canelo and John Ryder fight?
I don't think nobody cares about that fight. To be honest with you, that's why they're going to go all the way to Mexico, I think, because at the end of the day, I don't even know if Mexicans are going to support that, because Mexicans know a lot about boxing, and they know, already, who the hell is John Ryder, John Ryder, it's like he was saying before, David was the David. Who has David fought? What has David done? And look at him. He's fighting John Ryder, David and Canelo will be a big, big fight. But he just doesn't want to face David Benavidez.
Speaking of the word big, we know that David's a huge guy for 168, and when I spoke to him, he said he can see himself eventually moving up to cruiserweight. Maybe he has three or four more at 168 before he moves up to 175. You look at the current champions in Artur Beterbiev and Dimitri Bivol. How would you rate David's chances against either of those guys?
To be honest with you, man, we have a contract right now, and that's why when I said I don't care about Canelo, we have a contract. We are fighting other fighters. We have 3 fighters that we're going to fight after this if everything goes well. We have Boo Boo, we have David Morrell, and we have hopefully Charlo. And now there's another fighter there that popped in there. Somebody that's going to go to 160. I forgot who it was, but we have those guys right there. But to be honest with you, David's doing very well at 168. If for some reason, he's only 25 years old, so if for some reason he can't do that weight, we would love to fight people and have that revenge against that he beat Canelo. He already beat 2 of the Mexicans, good Mexicans, beat Canelo, Ramirez. So it would be a great fight if we can fight B-Ball. And hopefully Beterbiev also, he's a great fighter, So I think those guys are not scared of nobody. They'll fight anybody. So I think that's a fight that could be made very, very easy.
Jose, just before I let you go, because I'm aware of keeping you for too long and the team's downstairs waiting for you, just a couple of other fights I just want to get your thoughts on. We've seen the ongoing press conferences around Tank and Garcia. What's your thoughts, Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia?
I think it's a great fight. It's going to be a fight of the year. I was expecting a little bit more drama, a little bit more pushing or something like that. I don't know. Hopefully we can see it. Guy leading to the fight, they didn't make a little bit something bigger, I think they have a lot of respect for each other, I think. But at the end of the day, they're superstars. I think they can still sell a lot. But I think I want to see that fight. It could be fight of the year.
How do you think it goes?
Man, it's a tough fight, man. I would say that Ryan Garcia, has been having a little bit of problems, mental problems, and he hasn't been very active. Tank has been very active, man. Starting with Leo Santa Cruz, Leo Santa Cruz was looking really good, and then he stopped him. Then he fought Rolly, and he looked spectacular. Now he fought this last guy and looked spectacular. He's been on the roll. He adjusts and to me, he has more experience. But let's see what Ryan Garcia brings. He's a great fighter too, and it's going to be an exciting fight. But at the end of the day, whoever comes more prepared that night is going to be victorious.
And final one, Devin Haney and Vasily Lomachenko seems to be locked in for May 20th. Hopefully that one does get over the line as well. Just your thoughts on what you think to see in that one.
That's another fight, a great fight, man. You know, I think the same Lomachenko's in the same boat as Canelo Alvarez. You know, the young lions are coming over to take over. I think David Haney has proved that he's the best at 135, I believe, and he has looked spectacular. You know, he doesn't rest a lot. He steps on the outside, stays on the outside. He counters, and he's very smart. And I think, like I said, you know, I'm gonna have to go with the young lion now.
Jose, it's a pleasure to talk to you and meet you for the first time. I'm sure it will not be the last. Thank you for speaking to me. Enjoy your time in Liverpool and good luck on Saturday night.
Thank you, and I want to thank everybody here from London, Liverpool. You know, thank you so much for all the love and the support. Thank you.